The Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
You're listening to the Alldus podcast as part of our ServiceNow series. I'm very happy to welcome Stephen Sturdevant. Stephen has been in technology for over 20 years, started on IT help desk and progressed through process management roles onto ServiceNow deployment, architecture and leadership. Graduated from BYU, Idaho in 2020 with a degree in business management. He works for a company called BlueVoyant. BlueVoyant offers an integrated cyber defense platform that is comprehensive cloud-based internal and external cybersecurity solution. It enables organizations to consolidate multiple cybersecurity capabilities in a single unified solution, including modern SOC, third-party risk management, and digital risk protection. These multi-products offer a holistic security approach in a single central and cohesive platform that orchestrates an ecosystem that is composed of previously siloed security products. Stephen, thank you so much for your time today and great to have you on the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Stephen, tell us a little about your role and responsibilities at BlueVoyant, because you haven't been there for so long, have you?
No, I've been here since December of 2021, back in the customer space, and I'm serving as the manager of ServiceNow Engineering. We provide operational support as well as the continuing enhancement and expansion of services within the platform. We have a small team, but we're growing and currently in the hiring process.
Brilliant. So tell us, when were you first introduced to ServiceNow?
Well, it was by a colleague at a conference with ITSMF leadership back in March of 2008. By December of 2008, the company I'd been working for at the time had implemented ServiceNow as a replacement for an antiquated BMC remedy implementation. And my career has progressed across these tools, and I've worked on implementation teams across multiple organizations and industries, both as a customer and implementation partner for ServiceNow.
Thank you for that, Stephen. So if we're looking at the ServiceNow platform, why do you think it's seen as the number one choice in the sector? And do you think there's any particular reasons for that?
So I think that it's got some key things, right? It is a platform that you can use. It's extensible. You can make it your own. I often tell people that you can do whatever you want. You just have to know what you want. It's integratable. You can connect it to any system. And then it's also reliable. It's high availability. And even with high throughput, you typically don't see a whole lot of degradation in the performance there.
When you think about the value that can be added and people can get an awful lot from it, what excites you most about the platform and why?
It definitely comes back to the platform itself and those integrations I was mentioning. ServiceNow has this workflow engine and automation that have always been the draw for me. I love how the features of ServiceNow platform solve real world problems. Business challenges come up all the time, and we're not relegated to the paper model or email to facilitate a process. We can get rid of, giant monster spreadsheets, access databases, and provides better visibility of data and usability.
I was just going to ask, the advice that you would share to people who are getting involved in this, maybe particularly the C-suite, where would that tie into it?
The strongest advice I can give to the C-suite is to be checked in when there's ServiceNow efforts. All of the most successful projects that I've been involved in had strong executive sponsorship and involvement. I had one client that was a financial technology company, and the CTO was the sponsor of the project and gave clear guidelines and input on the project and was really driving with his people. This is the system we're going to adopt. This is the way we're going to do it. And it was excellent to have that backing as we went through there. My current company, the CTO and head of operations were the project sponsors all along the way. And by having their involvement, you had people buy in, even if they weren't bought in to begin with. They followed the direction of their leaders, and people bought in along the way.
Stephen, you're a busy man. You're married, 3 kids, and you're on this new journey with BlueVoyant. But you also find time to regularly write blogs and give extra information to the community. What inspires you to do that?
My original intent in starting my own blog was to give back to the community. It's a caring and sharing community. It's helped me grow immensely, and so much of my knowledge has been helped by others in the community. I typically like to share learning from actual work projects, where there's, of course, sanitized code, but it's real world, actual problems, actual application that people can see, not just how to use a code snippet, but also why you would use it. Seeing that full context really gives us a more complete understanding than just one standalone script can give us. Folks I talk to about content are often interested in the extreme ends of help. Some still need basic guidance and learning, and then there's others who are way more advanced and need complex answers. So whether it's like a workflow function or scripting, I have a strong desire to help where I can.
I find that when you help more or you try to detail what you've learned, it forces you to really know your stuff because you're trying to communicate in a way that's very straightforward. And if you can communicate in a simplistic way, it usually knows the product inside out. So it's the best of both worlds for you to be able to do that.
Yeah, it definitely solidifies that knowledge in your own mind.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
So much change, so many acquisitions by ServiceNow. What's next for the platform? Any particular macro trends that you're noticing in CSM or SecOps that you'd be interested in sharing?
Yeah, so ServiceNow continues to grow and push their low and no code options. I see them continuing that as we see growth in the UI builder space. My experience has shown, though, that there will continue to be a need and demand for pro code solutions along the way. I see a lot of growth along industry vertical solutions with blending of products. My company has pursued first of its kind SecOps with CSM, and there'll be other combinations. We'll see HR with service companies and CSM. We'll probably see IT and CSM combinations and other things like that. Technology continues to evolve. For example, we saw a growth and advancement in ServiceNow from the old CMS homepages to Service Portal with AngularJS, and AngularJS, it was just announced that it would be deprecated, no longer be supported. And so I think we'll see a gradual move to that new Now Experience framework for portals. And there's still new features to build out there, but I believe we'll probably see that growth.
Yeah, it's whatever happens, it's a particularly exciting time as it evolves, and whatever comes down the next, I think benefits the users, and customer satisfaction is going to continue to increase. One of the questions we like to ask our guests, because we have quite a few graduates or soon to be graduates entering the market, is advice to your younger self. If you were going to start off this journey 20 years ago or so, you're having a coffee with yourself, what are you saying to a younger Stephen?
Well, speaking of graduates, I would say make sure you get your education while you're young. I started my bachelor's degree when I was 33, and it was worth going back to school. But I think going to school is much easier before life's responsibilities set in, such as work and family. So definitely do that. Now, if you are a more mature student, get your education. I think it's important. It's been valuable to me even after years of experience. I probably would have decided back in 2008 when I first heard about ServiceNow to go ahead and make that my career. It's always been a major part of my job from that point forward, but it wasn't really until 2015 that I was like, you know what, this should be the focus of my career. It was the best pivot I could have made. It's been phenomenal for me and my family. And that's probably my final piece of advice would be ready to pivot. You never know what curveballs life is going to throw at you. If your mindset is flexible, then when the right opportunity comes along, you'll be ready to take it. When an obstacle is in your direct path, you're able to maneuver around it.
It's really good advice, because education is so important, but as you get older and you get more responsibilities with family, it can be very challenging to be able to do so many different things because you're getting pulled in so many different directions. So it's definitely good experience, particularly because you have that journey you've gone down yourself as well. In today's podcast, we've been speaking to Stephen Sturdevant, and Stephen has been giving an overview about his journey to now, how he got working with ServiceNow, some of his responsibilities at BlueVoyant, and also some of the exciting areas that ServiceNow potentially will go down. We also talked a little bit about extensibility, integrability, and reliability, and why ServiceNow is that platform of choice within many sectors. We also talked a little bit about what excites Stephen about the platform and why, and some of the learns from some of the projects and advice he'd offer the C-suite going to it. We also heard about how Stephen runs his own blogs and looks to add value into the marketplace by kind of giving that community feel, by simplifying the work that he's been doing to try to educate others as well. Stephen Sturdevant, Manager, ServiceNow Engineering at BlueVoyant, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.